100% healthy for the White House plumbing. It was bad for the presidency as well. And she's got the photos to prove it. They're kind of gross, but also very important, Maggie. So tell us what we are looking at here.
Brianna, thanks for having me. Gross and important, I think, are the two important words here. What you're looking at is two photos, one from the White House, which is what the one that looks like it has carpet on the bottom. The other is from an overseas trip that a Trump White House source provided me recently after some of the revelations during the January 6th hearing. This person, like a number of staffers I spoke with, while some of the testimony that has been heard has been disputed, generally found the overall picture of Trump to be pretty familiar with what they'd experienced, and they wanted to share them. Now, again, as you say, people are going to make all kinds of jokes about toilets and so forth. It would still be a story if it was a fireplace. And the point is about the destruction of records which are supposed to be preserved under the Presidential Records Act, which is a Watergate-era creation.
So, Maggie, remind us of that part of the story, because these pictures confirm something that you broke before in this early release of your book, Confidence Man, out this fall. We're excited to see the whole book based on these pictures and the other reporting coming out. But you reported that White House insiders were telling you about the destruction of key White House documents.
That's right. And John, look, we knew that Trump had a habit of ripping up paper and that people had to tape it back together. My colleague Annie Carney, when she was at Politico, reported that story. It was one of, I think, the most important stories that was written during the Trump White House. This is different because this meant that they couldn't be preserved. And so what was happening was White House resident staff were finding pipes were clogged with paper that they believed he had flushed down. I had additional reporting afterwards from people confirming that Trump had indeed done this and that it happened on at least 2 foreign trips and in the White House throughout his presidency. Again, it's important because who knows what this paper was? Only he would know, and presumably whoever was dealing with it. But the important point is about the records.
Yeah, I urge people to zoom in. You can see it's a Sharpie. You can see it's his handwriting. How is his camp responding to this, Maggie?
These were published by Axios, by Mike Allen first, and I believe that a spokesperson for the former president gave a statement suggesting that it requires desperation to run something like this. That's fine. I mean, this would be a story regardless of who the president was.
And Maggie, to be clear, when you put out this reporting before, they attacked the reporting, but this proves what you wrote to begin with, right?
Right. They attacked the reporting, attacked me personally. This was a Trump White House source, identifying pictures that, according to the source, showed that what I reported was accurate.
Durante todo el día lunes, el numeroso grupo de agentes del FBI entró y salió de la lujosa mansión del expresidente Trump en Palm Beach en busca de registros presidenciales, memos, cartas, notas, correos electrónicos, faxes y otras comunicaciones escritas relacionadas a las funciones oficiales.
Tienen que creer que hay pruebas o evidencias de un crimen.
Un juez había dado luz verde para esa redada, que debió ser autorizada por el fiscal general, aunque según la Casa Blanca allí no se recibió notificación. Y es que la ley federal requiere que los documentos presidenciales sean preservados en los archivos nacionales.
El hecho de que hayan conseguido una orden de cateo en contra del expresidente me hace pensar a mí que ya tienen la decisión de presentar cargos eventualmente en contra de Donald Trump.
Entrada la noche, a las afueras de Mar-a-Lago, decenas de adeptos como detractores de Trump manifestaron sus opiniones.
Yo me pregunto, ¿y por qué no se lo hicieron a Hillary Clinton cuando la email? ¿Y por qué no se lo hacen a Hunter y a Biden? Que todo el mundo sabe que él es el big guy. Yo no entiendo lo que está pasando en este país.
Este hombre decía estar feliz con la búsqueda del FBI y de que haya abierto su caja fuerte. Aseguraba que era un día grande para la democracia.
Dijeron que le rompieron el safe, la caja fuerte. Creo que lo que él puso para mí es algo muy serio. Vamos a ver qué está pasando.
En enero, los archivos nacionales y la Administración de Registros recuperaron 15 cajas de documentos clasificados de Mar-a-Lago que Trump debió entregar. Un mes después, el Departamento de Justicia investigaba si el exmandatario había violado a una ley federal.
Y violación de esa ley es un delito mayor que conlleva la posibilidad de hasta 10 años en cárcel.
El expresidente estaba en Nueva York cuando se hizo el allanamiento y no respondió cuando se le preguntó sobre el tema, pero en una declaración escrita dijo que la redada sin previo aviso no era necesaria ni adecuada y sin mostrar evidencia afirmó que era un acto de corrupción. Incluso comparó las acciones con el escándalo de Watergate.
¿qué tal amigos del Universal? Soy Guadalupe Galván, editora de Mundo. El Buró Federal de Investigaciones allanó este lunes la residencia del expresidente Donald Trump en Mar-a-Lago, en Florida. El propio exmandatario hizo la denuncia en un comunicado donde se declaró víctima de una persecución política que, según él, tendría como objetivo impedirle contender en las elecciones presidenciales de 2024. Lo cierto es que el Departamento de Justicia tiene abiertas, por lo menos que se sepa, 2 investigaciones en torno a Trump. La primera de ellas por sus esfuerzos para anular las elecciones de 2020 en las que perdió frente al candidato demócrata Joe Biden. Y la segunda tiene que ver justamente con su residencia de Mar-a-Lago. Las autoridades estadounidenses lo acusan de haber trasladado documentos, incluyendo información clasificada, a esta residencia, algo que está prohibido por la ley. De acuerdo con algunos medios y con algunos expertos, sería justamente esta investigación la que estaría ligada con el allanamiento de este lunes. Trump señaló que en el cateo fue abierta una caja fuerte. El exmandatario no se encontraba en la residencia en el momento del allanamiento y tampoco aclaró las causas del mismo. Lo que señalan los expertos es que este cateo, con la información que se tiene hasta el momento, significa que un juez consideró que hay información suficiente para pensar que Trump cometió un delito federal y que las pruebas de ese delito se encontrarían en la residencia de Mar-a-Lago. Seguramente en las próximas semanas veremos más información que nos permita saber si Trump está más cerca de pisar la prisión que antes de este allanamiento, o si simplemente se está estrechando el cerco en torno a él o a su gente más cercana. Soy Guadalupe Galván, editora de Mundo.
Bring in attorney and contributing columnist at the Washington Post, George Conway. George, great to see you this morning. Look, please, let's just take a step back because this is so unusual. We haven't seen anything like this before. So when you heard that the FBI executed a search warrant at the home of the former president, what questions does it raise for you? What standards in your mind must have been met?
Well, obviously, they have to meet the basic standard of any search warrant. You have to show probable cause that someone, might not be Donald Trump or could be Donald Trump, committed a crime, and probable cause that there is evidence of that crime in the location being searched. And you have to particularize exactly what it is that you're looking for, and you have to put that all in an affidavit that a federal judge reviews, and then makes a determination that there is sufficient cause to invade someone's privacy and to come into someone's home and to do this. That's one thing. But again, this is a former president, and the political consequences, the national consequences of going over your skis on this are just too huge for anything but the most significant evidence, I think, that would justify Merrick Garland, who is a cautious and a cautious person, to authorize this, and it had to be authorized by him personally. And so you have to ask, what is it about this particular circumstance that has led the Justice Department to this step? Obviously, they don't quite trust him because they obviously don't think that subpoenaing him or requesting documents from him will get them the answers they want. But what is it that they want? Well, it probably isn't just that he took some documents in a rush and packed them in 15 boxes and shipped them to Mar-a-Lago without focusing on what was in them. Okay, there's got to be something more. Maybe it's the nature of the materials, or it could be that he sent some of them back and represented that. I'm not just speculating here. I mean, he's not the most honest person in the world and not the most meticulous in obeying laws and rules. Maybe he didn't send them all back, and they're suspicious that he did it. That he didn't send them all back. In which case, he might be potentially liable for making false statements through his lawyers to the National Archives. We don't know. Again, we don't know. We need to see what the FBI presented to this federal judge. It could be that some documents were destroyed. It could be something completely different. It could be that maybe there's some overlap between the materials he kept in January 6th. That's even possible, although there's no indication of that. So, but there is something here that made this quite more than just somebody mistakenly or accidentally or carelessly packing 15 boxes of materials and sending them to Mar-a-Lago. His excuse would be, hey, I'm President of the United States. I didn't focus on this. I was busy. But hey, what he was busy at was launching a coup.
The narrative coming from his camp, coming from his son Eric, is this is a continuation of the National Archive issue. Would there potentially be an interest in putting that narrative out there, George, if really it might be something different? And would they necessarily even know if it was something different?
They may not necessarily know, because the search warrant could be for all documents that were unlawfully retained pursuant in violation of the Presidential Records Act. And that could, basically everything he took from Mar-a-Lago. To Mar-a-Lago from the White House. And that could include January 6 materials. It may not. It just depends on what they think is there. And obviously they have some basis to conclude that there's something interesting there. And they took out, apparently, boxes and boxes of materials, which suggests that maybe he did not return all the materials, or maybe there is something in there that indicates that some nefarious intent was he had some nefarious intent in bringing the documents to Mar-a-Lago. We just don't know at this point.
If there were a classified document of some kind there that the former president had improperly kept, manipulated, destroyed, whatever, how and why would it be in the national interest for the FBI?